In the pantheon of Star Wars heroes and legends, the name Ben Quadinaros may not immediately leap to mind. To the untrained eye, Quadinaros might seem like a mere footnote in the galactic history, relegated to the background of the Phantom Menace pod race. Yet a closer inspection reveals a character whose bravery, resilience, and sheer persistence embody the very essence of heroism. While Anakin Skywalker is frequently claimed as the prophesied Chosen One, a careful study of the Chosen One prophecy reveals that Anakin's frequent lapses into rage, impulsive decisions, and dark side related massacres raise questions about his worthiness. Meanwhile, Ben Quadinaros, steadfast, humble, and tenacious, demonstrate qualities far more suited to the role. Through careful analysis of his pod racing prowess, his symbolic role within the galaxy, enduring cultural legacy, this essay will demonstrate why Ben Quadinaros, and not Anakin Skywalker, is the true Chosen One. Quadinaros enters the Phantom Menace as an unlikely champion, a symbol of the underdog who fights for survival in a galaxy dominated by space wizards, tyrants, and the occasional giant slug. His primary achievement in the film? Attempting to start his pod racer. It may seem like a modest endeavor compared to blowing up the Death Star or conquering entire planets, but if one considers the ancient adage, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Quadinaros' journey through the unforgiving Boonta Eve Classic is nothing short of heroic. The irony of Quadinaros' role lies in his flawed pod racing vehicle, which fails to even start. And yet, this pod racer is nothing less than a metaphor for persistence in the face of insurmountable odds. Where Anakin's pod racer was built by extraordinary skill and otherworldly piloting abilities, Quadinaros races with the humble determination of a character who knows he is out of his depth, but who perceives nonetheless. Here, we see a strength of a character that Anakin, who turned to the dark side at the first sign of difficulty, could never hope to emulate. The ancient prophecy that lies at the heart of the Star Wars saga speaks of a figure who will bring balance to the Force. However, interpreting this prophecy through Anakin's tragic fall reveals significant shortcomings in his qualifications. While Anakin's rise and fall involved impressive displays of Force power, he did not bring balance to the galaxy, but in fact spent several decades actively unbalancing it. Entire star systems crumbled, Jedis were eradicated, and the Sith ruled unchecked. Thus, if balance was the intended outcome, Anakin's attempts might be described as highly counterproductive. Ben Quadinaros, on the other hand, is a character who brings natural balance. His presence in the Boonta Eve Classic serves as a stabilizing reminder that the Star Wars universe is not merely a collection of godlike Jedi and Sith. The galaxy contains ordinary beings who fail, falter, and try again. His efforts at pod racing, albeit disastrous, grounded the chaos of the race, offering comic relief and reminding viewers that there is space in the galaxy for all beings, not just those who possess supernatural powers and political ambitions. By merely existing, Quadinaros brings a balance that Anakin could only dream of. If Anakin Skywalker's character arc is defined by emotional instability, impatience, and a slight tendency towards homicide, then Ben Quadinaros' defining traits are steadfast, resilience, optimism, and a remarkable ability to keep trying no matter the odds. The pod racing scene in The Phantom Menace sees Anakin expertly maneuvering his pod through obstacles, but we must remember that his skill came at a cost. He was burdened with the weight of destiny and ultimately fell into darkness. Quadinaros, by contrast, enters the pod race with little more than a stubborn attitude and a wildly unreliable vehicle. When faced with failure, Quadinaros does not lash out or force choke anyone. Instead, he exemplifies the concept of grace under pressure. Even as his pod engines dramatically explode, sending parts flying in all directions, he remains unshaken. This resilience speaks volumes. Where Anakin wavers at the slightest threat to his pride, Ben Quadinaros smiles in the face of defeat, effectively redefining the Jedi maxim of peace in adversity. While Anakin may have the title of the Chosen One, the true test of a character's greatness is the impact on their audiences. Anakin's actions left galaxies in ruins and millions questioning the Jedi Order. Quadinaros, however, has inspired a deeply loyal following of fans who celebrate his tenacity. It is Quadinaros' brief screen time that has inspired memes, fan art, and analysis. A cult icon, he represents the everyman who, through no fault of his own, finds himself caught up in a cosmic struggle. The appeal of Ben Quadinaros is that he asks nothing of us. He does not demand hero worship or Sith fear. He simply races, fails spectacularly, and leaves an undeniable mark on our collective imagination. Ultimately, while Anakin Skywalker may be remembered as the supposed chosen one, Ben Quadinaros quietly demonstrates the virtues of balance, resilience, and unassuming courage. His struggle, though small in scale, reminds us that heroism is not about grand gestures or tragic sacrifices. Sometimes it's about showing up even when your four-engine pod racer is prone to spontaneous combustion. In the end, perhaps it is not Anakin who brings balance to the Force, but rather Ben Quadinaros, whose humble spirit and refusal to quit illuminates a path forward for all. In a galaxy filled with extraordinary powers and epic destinies, Ben Quadinaros stands as a beacon of quiet resilience. The true chosen one reminds us that balance begins in the most unlikely of places.